Good evening. Thank you for all attending Kelsey and Chris's wedding. It's amazing to think that 8 months ago, Chris proposed to Kelsey. It's more amazing to think that 8 months prior to that, Chris asked my father for permission when Chris had joined our family on a family fishing trip. Luckily, we were able to keep the anticipated proposal a secret. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Becca, Kelsey's older sister. I used to refer to myself as her big sister, but since about sophomore year of high school, when Kelsey grew taller than me, the term seems to no longer apply. As an older sister, I saw it as my responsibility to look after Kelsey while our parents were at work or were hosting social get-togethers. I also thought it was my responsibility to take her under my wing and show her the ropes. Yes, my parents taught Kelsey important things like how to do her homework, how to drive, how to write poetic thank you notes, and most importantly, how to properly clear and set the table. However, it was my duty to teach her some of these truly important things, like where to bite our cousin Luke so he would stop hugging me so tightly, or how to finish daily chores within the 10 minutes it would take Mom and Dad to get home after they had crossed the river. Or finally, what to do when a guy in your poetry class keeps staring at you and you don't know if he's interested or just weird. So, in thinking what I would say in this toast, I looked back on my relationship with Kelsey and realized that I wasn't the only one who was teaching about these valuable things in life. In watching my sister work with Alzheimer's patients in Des Moines as a part of her required capstone activity for her degree from Grace, I learned what it meant to be completely selfless and giving of yourself in service to others. In conversations with my sister about life's challenges and blessings, I learned that you always turn to God in your faith no matter what. And finally, in watching my sister with Chris, I learned how to open up to another person, to not be in protection mode, and to love openly and honestly. Kelsey, you've grown to be an incredible woman with a loving heart and a smile that makes the room sparkle. Well, and Chris, I want to take you all back 16 months ago, one late afternoon, on Lake Kenogami in Ontario, Canada. I was sitting in the front of the boat, Chris was in the middle, and my father was in the back. We had been out there for a good 90 minutes, sort of catching fish, when my father says to Chris, "Chris, Rebecca would like to know what your intentions are with Kelsey." Yes, that was not the first time that my dad had thrown me under the bus. Well, Chris answered that question, indicating he intended to marry Kelsey. And Chris and I proceeded to have a long and meaningful conversation about love, life, and how he knew Kelsey was the one and that this marriage was going to work. Well, from your answers, Chris, I learned that you were the right man for the job. As I said, Chris and I had a wonderful talk in that boat. So you may be wondering what my father had to say about the entire thing. Well, so did Chris. Chris asked my father, "Randy, Becca and I have had a lot to say, but I've not heard from you." My father pauses, deep in thought like he usually does, and says, "That's fine, Chris. Now can you hand me the blue pliers?" Now, if you know my father, he has a rather dry sense of humor, and you can anticipate that he let Chris stew on that comment a little bit. Well, he quickly relented and expressed his happiness. He also commented that we would now have something blue for the wedding. You know, the something old, the something new, the something borrowed, something blue. So, Kelsey and Chris, I'm happy for you both and glad that you were new. Chris, thank you for bringing my baby sister home. And, oh, Dad, I almost forgot. Can you hand me the blue pliers? For having helped Kelsey into that dress earlier today and all of those buttons, Chris is going to need these later. Here's to Kelsey and Chris.